show up. Like I'm like just the person that shows up and plays with the kids, talk to the older people, and just fucks off. It's like, look at the time.
The best possible guess.
Yeah, it's just great.
Podcast about sports. My name is Bob, sitting across the way from my good friend and co-host. That's Abe. How you doing tonight, Abe?
Doing well, Bob.
Yeah, here we are. Lori's here too. How you doing tonight, Lori?
I'm good. I just wish Thanksgiving were closer.
It's incredibly close. We need all the time we can muster between now and the time the hordes start to arrive.
Oh, I'm tired of talking to people. I just want it to get here.
That's reasonable. It is the best holiday, after all.
Oh, yeah? Is it at number one?
Yeah, I don't know what would be better.
Aren't people into that?
Christmas is pretty good.
Christmas
but
is awesome. It's like Thanksgiving, but more.
Yeah, but Christmas can also emotionally fraught if you're
you're
children
wrong.
Get full of expectation, and even when they get all sorts of obnoxious presents, can still be left feeling disappointed if they didn't get precisely the thing that they had been anticipating for weeks and weeks and perhaps months.
So less pressure.
And even when you get everything that you wanted, you get to like 11:30 or a little bit later. Like you had a disgusting breakfast full of sugar and nonsense. You probably ate some candy you shouldn't have eaten. It's like 2:30 in the afternoon. You're feeling a little bit nauseous. You've played with all of your new stuff. You maybe stared at a screen for too long. New video games, and you've gotten everything that you wanted, and it's over. It's like,
yeah, but you don't have to go to work.
That feeling of emptiness inside me.
You have a whole day to not go to work.
This emptiness happens that fast? You'd think you would take some joy in whatever it is that you unwrapped. Like, it goes that quickly?
It just doesn't take long at all.
I'm just happy to not be working.
Yeah.
Like, were you ever, when you were younger, Bob, when you were given presents, did you get, like, a bike or something that you could do something with, like, immediately? Like video game, something. Yeah, so, like, you're not going to be bored of it immediately.
It's not bored. You're not bored of it. You recognize it's the emptiness of things sort of situation, right? Like, the anticipation, the wanting.
Wrong outlook.
The wanting was always more. Right? Like, and it's not that there's anything inherently wrong with having gotten.
No, anticipation is the fun part, but that's why Christmas is great, because you have a whole month. Let's talk about sports and go to bed.
All right, we're getting there. Abe, it is imperative that you live bet the games here on a heater.
Oh boy.
Is Abe. We've got all sorts of spare cash rattling around in the old gambling app. Tonight, we have the Bills at the Texans, a 4.5-point favorite. Are those Bills? The money line is a minus 230 situation. Thursday night games are weird. Abe, which direction are we going tonight?
You know, I saw some stat floating about today. The Bills have not won against Houston in like 20 years or something.
Oh my.
And Josh Allen's like 0 for. Like
How can that be?
I don't know. Like,
it's
I mean,
not like the Texans have a long storied history of being awesome.
They don't. Yeah, so it's this weird thing, but with that, and then
the Texans have been around for 20 years.
They've been, since 2002, I think. Yeah, that's when they opened up. But there's also a receiver for the Bills because like he missed the meeting. He's being benched for a healthy scratch, as they say. So like a lot of things going against the Bills. So I'm going with the Bills for that reason.
Are we laying the points or just money line?
What was the 4.5? What's the line?
4.5 points.
On the road. Let's not mess with it. Let's just go straight up.
All right, $5 bet to win $2.17. Kickoff in just 2 minutes.
Come in here. Last year, Allen has one of the worst games of his career. Tonight, he gets sacked 8 times, picked off 2 times.
And let's give DeMeco Ryans a lot of credit. This is a team that was sitting there at 0-3, had big expectations. They've been able to win now 6 of their last 8.
It's a weekend full of college football. We'll get to the games in a minute. Let's start with the WGAS Newsbag Sports Edition. It's time for Who Gives a Shit News. Sports. SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey says the 16-team college football playoff should be a priority. This is from The Athletic. Now, they're messing with the formula. Just 2 years in, the deadline is ticking. We are rapidly approaching the deadline for the new college football playoff format to be in place in time for next season. And the wildly powerful and influential Greg Sankey says we need to get to a 16-team field now.
It's inevitable that they're going to get to 16, but what's the rush? I mean, there's a lot of change happening in college football now. You want a period to digest what's happening, and then you can adjust further. It's not like the 12 teams does not accurately capture the best teams in the country. And there's a point where you're diluting the regular season. I don't think we're there yet. I know people are concerned about that, but like at some point you're going to dilute the regular season to such an extent that it'll be meaningless.
You already have.
Like,
I know it doesn't feel like you have yet. But
do they get more money with the 16?
There will be more games, and therefore, presumably, yes.
That's
the
probably
rush.
what the
that's the
priority
rush.
is.
What is the the rush?
Yeah, which is weird because like you have all the money you can spend. Like I don't understand these.
Not all.
But back to the point on diluting the regular season. I know it feels like you don't, but the simple fact is Georgia is sitting here hoping that Alabama and Texas A&M win and Ole Miss loses, and we don't have to worry about going and playing in the SEC championship game. That is a dilution of the regular season, straight up. And you can say, oh, it doesn't matter, and it's just better for the sport in general, but that absolutely means that we don't care as much about the regular season as we did before.
I hate not your argument, but the idea, how I felt last year during those 8 overtimes.
Yeah.
Knowing full well.
No, it doesn't change how you feel about Georgia Tech.
It doesn't dilute shit. It doesn't dilute.
I just explained precisely the thing that it dilutes.
It doesn't dilute anything. You dilute something that doesn't
Those banners
actually exist.
It matters. Winning the SEC matters. It always has.
I think
it's a point of pride. You think it doesn't matter? You think Texas A&M doesn't want to win the SEC this year and be able to hang it in their rafters and say, we, Texas A&M, won the SEC? Yeah. Right. But I'm saying that it's because they've never done it before, right? For Georgia, for Alabama, it doesn't mean as much as it did before.
But that's anything that you do all the time. That's not because of more games or more playoff. It's because
I can take a weird sort of bit of happiness from the fact that we won the SEC last year.
Of course. But it doesn't matter the way it would for anyone in any postseason scenario. If you've never done it, it's the thing you want. And if you've done it a whole bunch, it doesn't matter as much. It's not because of a 12-team playoff.
The one complicating factor, like I said, I think the prime games throughout the season are still exciting. People look forward to it. That Alabama loss still sucked. It doesn't matter that you can still get in the playoffs, right? But I do think the championship weekend has been compromised, not diluted to where like if teams are like big whoop, like we actually would prefer to, like, Georgia, if Alabama and Texas A&M were to win out, right? They're both in the SEC title game. Georgia's in the playoffs.
Except so I think that's right. There's also a complicating factor with the tiebreaker and strength of schedule, where we could end up with all of the one-win teams and Georgia gets in because of the weird strength of schedule thing that they still have to figure out. Because like our record against teams that will be better, or our opponents will have a better record overall than somebody else's opponents, and we're going to end up in the SEC title game somehow. But it's not that is not entirely clear to me.
It's just going to make for very awkward like end of season stuff because, like I said, despite what they state, people are going to be punished for their performance in the championship game.
Even if it's just having to go on the road instead of hosting a playoff game or something, right? Like even if it's just that.
Right. Yeah. There's going to be Yeah, there'll be some negative aspects. So on the upside, like, if you're not Ohio State, like last year they won the whole thing. If you just made the playoffs, like you have nothing to show for it other than just being like a playoff participant. But if you win your conference title, you'll forever have something to point to as a marker for a successful season, right? So there is still some value in it. And again, I don't know what the rush is. Just let this process play out, and then in a few years revisit it and then make the change.
I think the rush, if there is one, is, aside, Lori identified the money component, there's also the fact that as we rapidly see this sport become much more fair, right? There's much more parity from you get past the top two teams, and there's this big muddle of largely competitive teams here. And like you look at it, like we were saying on Monday about Oregon and USC and Michigan, and like a bunch of these Big Ten teams that are going to end with 2 losses, right? 1 or 2 losses in conference. And it's like they didn't play everybody in their conference. It's not clear how good they actually are. It's not clear how good Ohio State really is or how good Indiana really is, because they simply did not play competition that matters. It's really not clear how good Texas A&M is. Like, we'll figure something out here as they play Texas. And, you've had a whole season to see like competition, right? So now we have some idea of what Texas is, and we'll get one, as the committee always says, one more data point for that game. And then you look at like if they go and they beat Alabama in the SEC title game, that's another data point, right? Or whoever they end up playing there. But the fact is, the more parity there is, the more muddled that, like, say teams 8 through 20 get in terms of who actually could compete for a national title were they to get in. Now, this could get really messy if, like, Texas Tech goes on a heater and wins the national title or something, right? Or like one of these bubble teams that gets in with the 11 or 12 seed wins a few games in a row and wins the national title. It's like, well, if a 2-loss, I'm trying to imagine what a good example would be this
Vanderbilt.
year. Vandy somehow sneaks in as a 5th or 6th SEC team this year. And if Vandy, lightning in a bottle kind of situation, Diego, goes all the way and wins the national title, or even just goes and plays for it. Like, you're telling me there aren't actually 20 other teams in the country that could have done the same thing? So why do we limit it to 12? Why not go to 16 or 24?
I do wonder, I mean, obviously the money is being spread thinner than it has, or at least the talent has spread thin because of the money. There is this gauntlet you still have to overcome, like through the playoffs. Like the first, let's say you get a bye, you still have to win like what, 3? Like 2 or 3 games against like ever tougher competition, right? So like, I don't think the chances of a team just getting hot. This is not like the NFL where like a wild card New York Giants team like has like a very hot like 5 weeks and they win the whole thing. Like, I think that's less likely in football, because to win like 3 in a row against very good competition and win the whole thing is harder than I think that you could do that in the NFL or even the NBA. Like, I think it'll still be like 6, 7 deep, as far, I mean, like this year, you wouldn't be surprised by,
I think 8.
Okay, like this year
would have been the correct number.
8, yeah.
But you're not going to go back to 8. But I think 8 was right.
But the problem with 8 is that there's always going to be somebody complaining. So like, I think 12 is fine.
Well,
that's the problem with any number.
I'm watching the fucking selection show on Tuesday night, and it's like, it was, and like, I know that BCS had its flaws, obviously, but like, it's just such a crock, because like, it's all, none of the justifications because they get the asshole who's running the thing, who's now running the thing, because the guy who was the chair of the CFP board or whatever had to go for. He said something to somebody at a game or something. He was the AD of Baylor, I think.
Yeah.
And he had to step down and recuse himself and whatnot. So they bring somebody else on. And let me see if I can find a clip of this. The guy who was doing these, who was the chair of the CFP rankings board or whatever the fuck, Mac Rhodes, he was the athletic director at Baylor. He has just, after stepping down, has parted ways. There was an alleged sideline or parted ways with Baylor.
Right.
There was an alleged sideline incident between Rhodes, a Baylor player, and an assistant coach. The school said Rhodes' leave was not related to that incident, the football team, NCAA rules violations, or any Title IX reports. Whatever the case is, this guy was doing it. And now Hunter Yurachek, who is now the chair of this CFP thing, and the AD at Arkansas had to go on and explain, like, because they do this ranking show, right? They release the top 25, and Reese Davis then interviews the guy from the rankings committee and demands that he explain himself, essentially. And the interview was just a total fucking train wreck. And the guy, like, he's getting the flop sweats.
He's not good at this.
He's not good at it at all.
And it's, day one, so he could get better, but woof.
We are joined by the new chair of the College Football Playoff Selection Committee, Hunter Yurachek, Arkansas AD, and now serving as the chair. Hunter, I wanted to talk. Let's talk first. Miami, based on the rankings, will be in the field. We know they have to win the ACC to get in. How close is Miami and Notre Dame in terms of evaluation within the room?
I think when you look, Reese, at Notre Dame and Miami, we really compare the losses of those two teams. Miami has lost to two unranked teams. Notre Dame has lost to two teams that are ranked in our top 13. And so we really haven't compared those two teams. They haven't been in similar comparative pools to date. But Miami is creeping up into that range where they will be compared to Notre Dame if something happens above them.
Okay, you guys have talked about putting teams in tiers. Not asking you to speculate, but just from a philosophical standpoint, once a team is in the same tier, if Notre Dame and Miami were in the same tier, or any two teams you played, how would you describe the weight that head-to-head matchups carry when the evaluation process starts?
Well, I think you look at what happened this week when we compared Alabama and Oklahoma in a similar spot where 8, 9, and 10, where we were comparing those teams. Oklahoma obviously got the nod based on their 2-point win at Oklahoma. So if Miami and Notre Dame are in a comparable tier, comparable range, the head-to-head will be a significant data point that we will use.
And on the subject of data points, teams that make conference championship games but potentially lose them, what is the philosophy there? Because it could give them more losses than some of the other at-large teams that they would be being compared against.
Well, the data point of a conference championship game will be just like it is in the past. It is another data point for most teams, a 13th data point that will be used to compare them to other teams in the ranking.
Hunter, thank you very much. We'll look forward to talking to you for the next few weeks, and look forward to you taking over as the chair of the College Football Playoff Selection Committee as you make your debut this week. Thanks for being with us.
It's billions of dollars at stake here. And that was that guy's answer. I mean, I know it's a ridiculous question. It's a ridiculous thing to ask them to do. But
then they shouldn't do it.
This is the bed that they made when they made this whole arrangement with ESPN and the rankings nonsense.
Do not understand how that we're not going to get to an obvious answer of bring back the ABCS style quantitative.
Oh, yeah. We are in the era of advanced stats and metrics.
Have still 12 or 16 teams. Like, what we didn't like about the heartless computers was that it took out something important. Like, we ended up with a stupid Notre Dame and Alabama national championship that Alabama won. Like, it was dumb that was the 1 and 2, right? I started paying attention at the very end of that. So my understanding is that the reason we went to the 4-team playoff is because we didn't like that it was purely computers picking, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, it wasn't purely computers picking, but essentially, yes.
But before the computers, it was the AP poll voting, which is even dumber. So it was like, okay, let's do computers instead. And now we're like, okay, the computers are getting it wrong because they don't have eyes because they're only looking at heartless statistics. So let's bring in humans and also more teams. Right. And it seems so obvious that you should put the humans away again and keep the more teams and it solves all the problems. And I don't know, I know that we won't get there, and I'm actually confused as to why not.
I think the people that are making these decisions as to who gets in and out, they want to preserve that power, right? So like if they got out of the way and let the robots dictate the numbers, and then, you know, if it was 12 teams or 16 teams, then you would have the best of both worlds, as you described. But I think they want, like, the eyeball test or some bullshit that they come up with to keep certain teams in and you know, put teams, you know, kick them out. So, like, I think they want to preserve that power, so I don't see them ever changing that. They may add that as an additional component, but I don't think they'll take that out. I wonder why they don't.
But the composition of the committee doesn't make any sense either. It's a bunch of athletic directors at schools that have a vested interest in what's going on in the room, right? Like most of the time, anyway. Like
it seems kind of fucked
why
up.
is the Miami athletic director on the? He recuses himself from all conversations about the Miami football team. Like, well, if you have to do that, then probably you shouldn't be in the room in the first place.
Right.
And these people have jobs. They get paid tens of millions of dollars, some of them, to run the athletics departments at these massive institutions. Right. And we also expect them to be able to do this.
And they're probably watching, like, I wonder if some of these people that are involved had, like, YouTube TV, and they just didn't watch certain games for a couple of weeks, and they just guessed. They're like, I just look at the scoreboard and put in my estimation as to who's good.
They're probably watching less football than I am.
Yeah, I wonder how much football they actually watch, you know? Like, I'm sure...
They're busy.
Yeah.
Like,
because you're the AD at Miami. You have a home football game. Guess what you're not doing all day long? Sitting in front of the TV watching games.
Yeah. I'm sure you can just, you know, pass it off to your underlings. You know, give me like a report, you know, an assessment that I can.
But then put the underlings in the voting room.
Yeah, that's true. But, you know, the thing is, with the larger number, the fuck-ups are more likely to happen on the field than off it. You know, when it was just two teams, the robot that can get it wrong and keep a deserving team third instead of second. When there were four teams, the same thing with a fifth team left out. If you get to 12 to 16... then I'm
less concerned with them getting the field right or wrong. I think that they will largely get it close enough to right that it doesn't matter. It's the circus aspect of it leading up to it that I'm like, what are we doing here? Like, just don't release. Like, what if March Madness was a weekly show for 6 weeks or 8 weeks before the end of the season started?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
like it's ridiculous. There's too many variables at play here. None of this shit has been figured out yet. Maybe they can do, like, if you want to compromise and say we're going to do one a month out, like roughly right now, I guess you could do one and say this is sort of where we are. But to do it weekly, even though they don't start it until
November,
week 8 or whatever it is, it's just patently ridiculous.
Entertainment fodder, just so people can talk about.
And here we are.
I know, but we're not even talking about. We're talking about it from a meta remove point because it's so stupid.
We're still talking about it.
It's one thing to talk about it in terms of, like, I disagree with the current ranking. That, you know, you can argue with all of that stuff, but like but it's so ridiculous that the only way to really talk about it is to point out how ridiculous it is.
Right. Someone made the comparison. You know, a couple of years ago when that FSU quarterback, their legs got fucked up or whatever happened to them. They were undefeated and they were kept out because, like, we have to take that into consideration. Like, somebody online pointed out, like, what if like a Lane Kiffin decided to leave, you know, before they made their decision? Would that be a negative mark on Ole Miss? Like, if like
yes, they've said that.
So, like,
I think
they literally will consider anything as a data point, whatever they think.
Do we wish that the criteria would stay the same year to year or not? Because it's stuff like that. Like, where this year they're like, oh, we're taking strength of schedule more into consideration than in previous years. It's just like,
well, there was the phrase
just be consistent.
I forget what the phrase was, but basically the idea was we're going to take into account how hard you tried when you made your schedule, not what the actual schedule ended up being, right? Because, like, Oregon played Oklahoma State this year, and that looks like practically playing a Division II school because of how bad Oklahoma State is. But when they scheduled that game, Oh, that's a great interconference matchup between two powerhouses, potentially. Good on you.
Yeah.
When Alabama scheduled FSU, it's like, oh, big time. Storied programs going up against each other. Now, we couldn't have known that Alabama was going to lose to a horrid FSU team. But like, they were going to somehow take into account the idea that because you were willing 3 years ago to schedule a big-name opponent, we're going to take that into account. The idea of how good your opponent ought to have been rather than how good the opponent actually was on the field, which is just fucking stupid.
Yeah. You want to make it a bit better. You know, like as far as tweaking goes, like they tweaked the seeding because last year I think they had it to where like if you won the title, you were slotted into the top 4. And then that's not the case going forward, right? They changed it to where, you know, you'll be in the playoffs, but like the spot will depend on your rankings, right? So some tweaks are positive and then others are not as positive. So like I think like making the standard broader is not good. Just simplify it and then make it consistent. That way everybody knows what they're, you know, what to aim for. So like if you're constantly tweaking the criteria, it's basically like whatever I think is the right thing. And you don't want to be in that position.
What bothers me about it, and I know I've probably said this before, I think that if we could go back and just have conference title winners get in, like if you can make it so that your conference title is actually going to the correct school. And I know that's difficult because the conferences keep getting fucking bigger, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And so
that's the real problem.
We're going to have a situation where a really great Georgia team is on the outside, in all likelihood, on the outside looking in of the SEC championship game. And Ole Miss has an argument, right? Only one loss in all likelihood on the outside looking in of the championship game. So, like, they would throw a fit, right? And in some years, we're like Ohio State, Michigan, Oregon, and Indiana are all really good. And you're only going to get one conference champ out of that group. Like, they would throw a fit. But, like, if we could somehow get it back to where the conferences are reasonably sized, you more or less get a conference champ that is undisputed in some way. If you have a 10 or a 12 team conference, it's much easier to pull that off. And then have, whether it's 4 or 6 conferences that qualify, that creates your basic playoff field, and then flesh it out.
Yeah, the at-large berths, and the other spots.
With 2 or 4 more at-large berths for everybody else. To me, that is a compromise position between figuring it out on the field and then figuring it out in the stupid boardroom at the Marriott or what have you. But it's going to piss people off because I don't want a 12 or 16 team field on top of that, right? Like I would much rather have an 8 or a maximum 12 team field. I'm
not going to be able to explain Josh Pate's idealist idea for how, because it has something to do with it makes the conference championship mean more.
If you win the SEC or the Big Ten, you should get a bye.
But it's like the conferences would have their own mini playoffs like that. I'll try to find it, because it's whatever. It seems
a lot of the more involved solutions involve finding another week or two in the football schedule. That's just not there right now, right? So if you wanted to do like a mini SEC tournament at the end of the season,
well, like I think basically SEC. So whoever has the best record wins, doesn't have to play in the SEC title game, but then your 2 and 3 have to play for the right to move on.
Yeah,
something like that, and it will depend on whatever else is going on. But like, your 1 gets in, your 2 plays your 5, and your 3 and 4 play, and that's how you. But it's all stupid because it's all going to go to 1 to 2 super conferences soon anyway. So we'll just be.
And that's why I think you should let this process play out, because there are going to be other changes soon. So just let that happen first, and then you can reassess.
All right. Major League Baseball announced new TV deals with NBC, Netflix, and ESPN on Wednesday, restructuring its broadcast future. It's from The Athletic. This is going to give ESPN rights to out-of-market games for all 30 teams and 6 in-market teams. So whereas before, Major League Baseball was fully in control of MLB.TV and the MLB streaming app, they have now effectively given those rights or sold them to ESPN. And if you want to have the MLB.TV app moving forward, you're going to go through the Disney Corporation to get it, which I don't know why MLB did this. It seems like a profit center for them, and keeping it in-house would have made more sense. And it's always been a very good product. The only downside to it is the out-of-market or the in-market games that you're not allowed to watch, which is just, it's such a stupid throwback to a previous time that's just completely unacceptable, right? Like, if you want your sport to be watched by more people, like the fact that I cannot turn on my MLB app and watch the Braves when they're playing against the Nationals or the Baltimore Orioles is just the dumbest fucking thing in the world. Like, it's not my fault that I'm already paying for YouTube TV to give me access to local sports stations in theory, but if they're not on the ones that I subscribe to, now I've got to, in order to watch all of the Braves games, I have to carry some double bonus package of sports channels for my regional cable provider. It fucking sucks.
Right.
And that's not going to be fixed by this, which is frustrating.
You know, so ESPN, they bought the NFL Network, right? And they have like a ownership stake also, or it seems
ownership stake in NFL Network in some way, yeah.
Right, and then now they have this thing with MLB TV. It seems like ESPN is becoming this. I mean, they have been a behemoth in sports, but like they are involved in so many different leagues, and to this extent, like in the past, they would have like a deal, and then some other companies would have a deal, and I guess that's a case here, right? NBC's involved. It's not just ESPN. But
right. So and this makes the MLB.TV product worse. The $130 or $150 or whatever it is that I pay every year to watch Braves games. There's going to be more games now on NBC Peacock that are not available to me on the MLB app, which is also bogus.
Yeah.
And so they're once again taking a product that was good and made things relatively easy for somebody who didn't live in their favorite team's cable market to be able to watch games, and making it less good, right? Like, in order to watch Braves games over the last couple of years, sometimes on a Sunday, you'd had to have Apple TV, or you had to have, I think they stuck them on Roku for a little while. There was like a Sunday morning game on Roku every once in a while, which I didn't fully understand. And now Netflix is going to have the Home Run Derby, and they're going to have a standalone opening day game in prime time, the Home Run Derby and the Field of Dreams game that gets played in Iowa every year. So it's like, it's just, to me, it's just a diluting of the product across a bunch of different properties. And we subscribe to Netflix, so I guess it doesn't fucking matter. But, like, I don't know. There's something about this that bums me out. And it's like, it's just the spreading of everything to more and more.
It's also because it's baseball.
Platforms.
And baseball's supposed to be sweet and innocent and not like this.
Right. The user experience is awful because, like, if you are a fan of a team in whatever sport now, like this has been the trend, you have to have all these different streaming networks, and then you need to have like YouTube TV or something. You need to have like multiple different subscriptions to watch the entire season of a team. Whereas in the past, especially, like if you're out of market, if you're like a Braves fan and now you live in Pittsburgh or whatever, that's one thing. But if you're like an Atlanta person and you're a Braves fan, it should not be difficult to watch the Braves. You shouldn't need like Netflix to watch something or whatever. But here we are.
Yeah. All right. That's enough complaining about the sports news of the week. We can close up the WGAS Newsbag and move on to the best game in every time slot. Now, I know we live in a dark time of much conspiratorial thinking, right? Just today, the CDC put up on their website that it is not true that vaccines do not cause autism, right? Yeah. They are RFK Jr. and has gotten his claws in at Health and Human Services, and the man who says don't take Tylenol now also says don't take vaccines because they might cause autism. And you go to cdc.gov once, the sort of place you would go to get the best available expert opinion. And now it's just like, well, yeah, we don't know what we don't know. So maybe not take those vaccines after all. It's like, oh, good. This is going to be great for us long term, probably.
We're on the right track.
So, yeah, I don't want to – I know we live in a time in which it's easy to just ask questions and raise conspiratorial thinking about everything. How far will the Epstein list go?
All right.
How?
All right. Get on with it.
Is there any way to know what truth really is any longer? But the state of games this week, the slate of games this weekend, is clearly a conspiracy against me personally. I have no baseball responsibilities.
No.
This weekend.
I have an opposite take.
I have no soccer responsibilities this weekend. It's the first weekend of the college football season here in week 13 or whatever we're in.
Yeah.
Where in theory, my whole Saturday would be open to watching a full day of games. And yet, I don't want to watch a full day of games. The games suck. Yes, Lori.
Okay. So, my whole stupid Twitter is SEC people being defensive about other non-SEC people shitting on the cupcake slate of games in the SEC this week. And everyone is missing the point. If there is one Saturday that I can't spend the whole Saturday eyes glued to 5 games at once, it's the one that's this weekend.
Before Thanksgiving.
Where I need to get the house looking like adults live here for the entire fucking family to come.
This is like 1/8 of my family.
Wow.
I know. That's the crazy part. Like, if there is one week of the year, it's not that I need a break from football. It's just like very good that there's not 3 games in each time slot that I can't miss. Like, I can be home. I can have 1 or 2 on, but I can't be glued. I am too busy. We have old people coming.
Yeah.
We have rich people coming. We have a disaster of a house.
Yeah.
We need to get it ready. It is
a
gift. I'm not done. It is a gift from the SEC that they do this, and it means that people who are SEC fans care more about family.
Yeah. I wonder what people imagine our house looks like.
They're right.
For the last month that you've been describing complete disaster.
Everyone who listens to this show knows exactly what our house looks like. Also, until more recently when I discovered that, like, because I always noticed, like, Georgia's second to last game was always, like, a boring one. I assumed it was because they knew that the students would be just going home and they wouldn't mind missing a game. Like, I very much was like, oh, that's why they schedule these easy games, so the kids can go home.
The downside of playing Tech after Thanksgiving every year is that the home field advantage isn't quite as good. Like, the energy at Sanford is never quite.
No, that's because the Tech people are there.
No, I know, but there is an element of this is a holiday weekend and
it's a family game. It's what all the UVA games are like.
Yeah, I have longed for the Tech game. I know it's a tradition. You play it the Saturday, or in this case, you're playing it the Friday.
Rivalry weekend.
After Thanksgiving. It just feels like it could mean more if you put it somewhere else sometimes. But, you know, whatever.
It's also nice because people are in town and they can go to the thing. I just think that the SEC does it right, putting the easy games this particular weekend, and I think it's sort of rude of the conferences that don't do that.
I got bad news for your position here. There aren't any other good goddamn games either.
Oregon.
All right, so there's one game between a probably not that good USC against Oregon. Like, what are we talking about here? The whole weekend sucks.
I mean, also, maybe Tennessee will beat Florida for the first time in 50 years in Gainesville. That'd be cool.
All right. Friday night. Don't watch college football. It sucks ass. Go watch Wicked 2 or something. That probably sucks ass too. But I don't know why you would turn on.
I don't even know what the schedule is. I didn't do my
Florida
spreadsheet
State
this
versus
week.
NC State, and then Hawaii versus UNLV.
Yeah, Florida State, NC State, like even best case scenario, like not suck ass Florida State. How good is that game really going to be?
I mean, this is the bowl eligibility bowl game. Both of them at 5 wins, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, Friday night. I don't know what you're planning on doing, Abe, but I assume you're getting dressed up. Maybe you're gonna go full green makeup for Wicked 2 and go watch Wicked 2 with the Sickos.
There's an outside chance I go to that Pitt Georgia Tech game on Saturday night, but Friday I'm probably just gonna go watch a movie. Yeah. So no football
all right.
on Friday.
At noon on Saturday, you've got Mizzou, number 22. Plus 7.5 points at number 8, Oklahoma. Now, this is 2 ranked teams. That doesn't make it a very good game.
Yeah, look at that over under 42. Oof.
I'm going to show you. I'm going to share my screen here. I don't always do this, but given how, because I could have just said, look, there's only one game per time slot, right? Instead,
I don't even have the Georgia game on here.
No, I don't have the. Are you kidding me?
I want to watch the Georgia game.
Charlotte is maybe the worst team that Georgia has played in a decade or something.
Yeah, but we get to see like the third string.
No,
It'll be those guys' best day ever.
I'm trying to create an objective assessment of which games that you should watch, and I cannot, in good conscience, put the Georgia game on there because if Grunter shouldn't even take his helmet out of the locker room.
I think they shouldn't let him dress.
Here's what I'm saying. I could have said, watch a noon game, watch that good game at 3:30, and then really you could just take the rest of the night off. You don't even have to watch during the 7:30 or the 10 o'clock window because the games all suck. Instead, I went in the complete opposite direction, and I said, look, we're going Quadbox on the second TV.
You can't describe how messy our house is, and this is what he did today.
Noon, Missouri plus 7.5 at number 8, Oklahoma. Then, second TV, the Sickos Quadbox. You've got Louisville plus 2.5 at SMU on ESPN2. You've got Minnesota plus 3.5 at Northwestern. You've got number 13, Miami, minus 3 scores at Virginia Tech. And then Rutgers plus 31.5 points at Ohio State.
When you put it this way, now I want to watch them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Minnesota, Northwestern.
That Minnesota
Let's go.
coach, that fit Minnesota coach who always wears that sweater a fucking nerd.
Now I'm worried I don't have time to do anything.
No, you probably don't. At 3:30, you've got the game of the day, number 15, USC. And by the way, game of the day, catching like 10 points. USC plus 9.5 at Oregon. Over under of 59.5 points on CBS. Yeah, it'd be nice. You turn the CBS game up, right?
It's around when your mother's going to get here.
Gary Danielson, get him nice and loud. Haven't heard too much from Gary this season. Then, on the second TV, Sickos Quadbox, Syracuse plus 35.5 points at number 9, Notre Dame. Kentucky plus 9.5 at number 14, Vanderbilt. Arkansas plus 8.5 at number 17, Texas. You look at Arkansas's schedule this season. Arkansas has lost every game that they've played since they beat Arkansas State in the second week of the season.
Imagine going back in September, looking good, boys, 2-0, and then just
2-0 after 2 weeks, and then they lost. But here's the thing: 41-35 against Ole Miss, 32-31 against Memphis. Then they get just fucking pantsed by Notre Dame, 56-13. But then 34-31 Tennessee, 45-42 Texas A&M, 33-24 Auburn, 38-35 Mississippi State, and 23-22 LSU. They're like 8 points away from having a great season.
Well, the problem is
Mississippi State is also rough.
After the that Memphis loss, it was a 1-point loss. They got shellacked by Notre Dame, and now they lost by 1 point to LSU. expect a shellacking by Texas. They're like, oh, we had it by 1 point, and it goes the other way.
Oh, you think so? Is that the pattern?
Yes.
You've detected a pattern here? Have you?
Because all the other ones are pretty close. They get their motivation, and then when it's a backbreaking loss, like they go the other way.
No, it wouldn't surprise me if Arkansas scored a bunch of points against Texas. Bobby Petrino down there throwing it around. And then fourth game in that quad box at the 3:30 window, TCU plus 1.5 at number 23 Houston. Because fuck it. And then 7 o'clock window, Pitt plus 2.5 points at number 16 Georgia Tech with an over-under of 62.5 points. That's a huge over-under.
That is, I know. They're expecting a lot of points. Pitt did not perform very well the last time I picked them. And then Tech, you think maybe this is a trap game for them. They're concerned about this Georgia game, just to, get one back.
Oh, they better not be. Brent Key better not be thinking about anything but making it to the ACC title game. And then from there, I mean, what is he in year 2 or year 3 of his situation there?
That's a good question.
I think 3.
Probably 3rd, right? Like, feels like it's been here at least a couple of years.
I think 3. I think last year couldn't have been his first year.
As of November 2022, he's been the head coach, so longer than that. Forgive me. What does that
Wait, he
make
came
it?
in as like an interim, or like just
so
the
23 was the first year, 24 was his second year. It's his third year.
Yeah, 22 was interim head coach, and then 23, 24, and now 25.
Okay, third full year.
Third year head coach at Tech, and you are 1 win away from playing in the ACC title game, and your most likely opponent is Virginia, like this entirely beatable. It's not Miami. It's not Florida State. It's not even like SMU that you have to worry about. You beat Pitt at home, and you get to play in it, or where do they play this? Charlotte? You get to play in Charlotte for the ACC title with a chance to go to the playoff in your third year at Georgia Tech, and you're worried about the Georgia game?
Yes.
You better not be, fucking dummy. They'll go a decade without an opportunity like this.
They might not. Things are different now.
Yeah.
All right, second TV, the third Sickos quad box of the day. Nebraska plus 7.5 at Penn State. California minus 2.5 at Stanford. That one is legitimately worth keeping an eye on because it's a really good rivalry game usually.
Also, I'm not doing shit after like dinner. So this nighttime window,
Number 21, Illinois, minus 7.5 at Wisconsin. Wisconsin, which is I thought a coaching position that was going to come open potentially by the end of this year. They have reaffirmed their commitment to their head coach in some form or fashion, and he won't be going anywhere. And then number 20, Tennessee, minus 4.5 or 3.5, depends on where you are, at Florida in the swamp.
That's not very many at all.
It's a very strange line.
Yeah.
It's because they haven't won there in 50 years.
Yeah. That's a weird line. But
Vegas really believes in like the swamp curse.
No 10 o'clock window games worth watching, with the possible exception of Washington at UCLA. Washington, a 10.5 point favorite, but UCLA has been they've been frisky since they fired their coach. But I don't know the Iamaleava situation. I assume that he's still out, which is why that's a 10.5 point game. That's the best game in every time slot. It's not pretty.
Sure is.
It is now time to go through our picks in the CIB football pick'em contest for this season.
Can I defer?
Defer to what?
Later. You know how the networks are like, we're going to wait on deciding.
Oh, we don't know what time any of the games are going to be played in just 10 days or something? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. We'll go with Cousin Steve's picks. First, reminding everyone of our current situation. Abe out in front by a clear of the field by 20 whole points with 210 overall. I'm in second with 190. Cousin Steve nipping at my heels with 187. And Lori is back of the pack. I don't even know. Are you even attached to the train car anymore back there?
I would like to not be. I don't want to play.
Has the caboose been left behind on the tracks? With 157 points. Although, everybody's still within. Like I don't think anybody's out of it yet. Certainly.
Right. Yeah. Everybody's within
striking distance. All right, Steve's picks this week. He's got South Florida minus. Steve has some real. I mean, this is a Sickos weekend as we've been through with our best game in every time slot. He's picked a couple of Sickos games for his picks here. South Florida minus 21.5 at UAB and UTSA as the home underdog against East Carolina. Fun games you've picked for us there, Steve.
Nice.
Steve's got the Texans plus 5.5 points tonight.
Oh, how's that looking?
Currently, the Bills up 9-3 with 10 minutes to go in the second quarter.
6 points, 5.5. Look at that.
Yeah. And then he's got the Seahawks minus 13.5 points against the Titans, and the Lions laying 10.5 big points at home against the Giants. It's with Jackson Dart expected to return this weekend, I believe. Lori's games will not be revealed to us live. If you'd like to see them, go to brainiron.substack.com. They will be posted there, along with the best game at every time slot if you need to refer back to that as well for your Sickos Quadbox. Abe, what games are you picking this week?
I got Texas laying the points, 8.5. They're going to pull away from Arkansas. Not worry about that game. Pitt is going to, I don't know why I'm going back to this well. After
all of a sudden, why are you on Pitt all of a sudden?
I don't know. Maybe I just like the city of Pittsburgh. I don't know.
You get attached to very silly things.
Pittsburgh is
sometimes.
great. Also, because Pitt could be like the ultimate agent of chaos in the end of the year here.
Yeah. It just seemed like the kind of game that Georgia Tech would fuck up. Like, they're some weird special teams fuck up. But anyways, it's easy, 10 points right there. And then I have Nebraska keeping it close against Penn State. I know Penn State has somewhat righted the ship and they're much better. But, I mean, come on. That's a lot of points for a shitty team.
That is a big number for, like, to me, it speaks to, like, why did Nebraska give that guy a big contract extension in the middle of the season?
Yeah, Matt Rule or what's his name?
Yeah, Matt Rule gets a better coaching contract on the strength of what exactly?
Yeah, just on the threat of him
You're
leaving.
here at the end of the year against a Penn State team where half of these kids are thinking about playing somewhere else next year. Nobody knows who the head coach is going to be next year. And you are a 2-score dog on the road? Like, I don't get it.
And that's his school, right? And wasn't that the reason why he got this extra money? Like, because, like...
Yeah, because they were afraid he might jump to Penn State.
Yeah, so maybe he'll put on a decent performance. And then on the NFL front, Steelers have this Aaron Rodgers fella. He used to dominate the Bears, and I'm thinking he's going to bring some of that back.
Isn't he hurt?
He should be playing, though.
Oh, he is playing?
Yeah. I hope he's playing. He was playing as of this morning. But I think... He fares well whenever he played in Chicago. And then, again, this is the same thing with the opposite of the Pittsburgh thing. Last week I picked against the Jaguars because I didn't think highly of them. They won big. And now I'm picking against the Jaguars again because fuck them. They're not going to do this twice in a row. So I'm going with the Cardinals.
I've got Oklahoma minus 7.5 points at home against Missouri. I picked against Missouri last week, similar to you. I'm doubling down on the bad result. Last week, Missouri, their quarterback is awful. They have a running back who ran for 300 yards. But Oklahoma should be able to focus on just stopping the run here with the dude who ran for 300 yards last week. And his fucking quarterback is not going to hurt you. So I think Oklahoma runs away with this one. Right. I've got TCU as the road underdog at number 23, Houston. Although, Abe, go to the old ESPN Predictometer for me on this this TCU Houston game.
Let's see what's going on here. Wow, look at that! Almost a coin flip.
What is the number?
53-46, or 53-47.
In favor of the road underdog.
Yeah,
correct?
that is odd.
There we go. I've got Sonny Dykes and the Horned Frogs there for a 10-point win for me. Inevitable. I've got Georgia Tech minus 2.5 points at home against Pittsburgh on the other side of Abe. There.
They beat Pittsburgh. They beat Virginia, right? You're basically crowning them the ACC champs.
Yes, and I'm hoping that they are focused. Chop this wood. Don't worry about the wood to be chopped next week against Georgia. You have business to attend to this week, Georgia Tech. And then I've got UNLV minus 2.5 points at home against Hawaii. I've picked a lot of Dan Mullen games this season. I think my results have been less than great when picking the Dan Mullen game, but I'm going to stick with it.
Going back for more.
But you've stayed away from Lane Kiffin, so.
Yeah. And give me the Minnesota Golden Gophers as the road dog against Northwestern. That sweatered head coach of theirs, I trust.
The bald guy, right?
Yeah.
So your that whole Northwestern thing is done, right? They had their one, and that was it.
Well, this doesn't count, right? This is Minnesota. Like they could win this game, they might not win this game. I don't know. It's when Northwestern has like Michigan or Ohio State or something. Like
didn't they beat Penn State back when Franklin was around?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that's our picks in the 2025 football pick'em contest. It is now time, as I can hear them. They're playing Jimmy's music, as they say, to go to Plains Heaven.
Hello once again to my dear friends at Cast Iron Balls, and also to Abe, a man so full of casual spite that his internet browser's homepage is Wikipedia's this year's notable deaths article, which he smugly scrolls through every morning in his sweatpants, repeating never heard of you or you or you, until he lands on someone he has heard of, whereupon he shouts, notably dead, and turns his attention to watching YouTube clips of Carson Daly doing celebrity gossip on the Today Show. I had lunch with Henry Kissinger the other day. He and I had our differences back in the day, of course, but there's something about the soupy ambiguity of non-corporeal life that softens your differences with one another, or at least makes it harder to remember what difference any of it really makes. Embodied consciousness is a funny thing. I can tell that I'm separate from old Dr. Strangeville as we sit there, drinking our tea and reminiscing. But everything has the texture of a dream, such that after visitors gone you can still feel the residue of them all over and in everything. Like they've become part of the crockery, somehow. The way that in a nightmare, you sense that you're being chased, but the thing that's chasing you, though it might take the form of a skeleton, or a spider, or a clown, or whatever, it's actually part of the fabric the whole dream is resting on, so that no matter how fast and how far you run, since you can outrun the ground and the walls and the air, you can never truly escape. Any which way, I had Kissinger over because I thought it might root out Rosalind, who always had a thing for the mean old bastard, to tell you the truth. For a spell in the 80s, she wouldn't let me near her in the bedroom unless I was doing a goofy German accent and going on about overthrowing Latin American Marxists. She loved a good rollerblade, that gal of mine. Lord, how I miss her. As for the gambling, I'll take the Tennessee Volunteers minus the 3.5 points against the Gators in the Swamp. That line is more suspect than the single guy hanging out in the crying room at church, and Florida has won 17 of the last 20 against the Vols, and Tennessee hasn't won in Gainesville since 2003, but I think this is the year to get it done. Good old Rocky Top. As always, enjoy the games with good food and drink, and most importantly, good company, and be kind to one another. For gosh sakes, almost nothing matters besides that. May God bless this great nation and this great podcast. Until next time, this is Jimmy from Plains for Cast Iron Balls.
First of all, I don't go to this Wikipedia notable deaths thing. You know, CBS Sunday mornings has a segment of like passing.
Why would Jimmy Carter say that you did if you don't?
Does it concern you that from the great beyond, Jimmy Carter appears to have his eye trained wholly upon your existence? Especially whatever you get up to first thing in the morning.
That's right. That is curious. I mean, there is a picture of him in my bedroom. Maybe he's noticing it over my shoulder.
So you're saying you don't need to go to the notable deaths
Yeah, so
page?
every weekend, CBS Sunday mornings, usually like 20 minutes in, they'll have a like basically an in memoriam, these people died, and usually, I mean, he got that right. Like, I don't know this person, I don't know that person, because a lot of times these people are very old, and it's like, oh, they played the piano in the 1960s. I don't know. Like, what do you want me to do with that? Or it'll be like a producer for like some internal reference. Like, I don't know this guy either. Like, what's going on?
Okay, so what are you saying you don't do?
What is the vetting process for the CBS Sunday morning in memoriam segment? Because like apparently they need the way that the CFP needs a reformation process here.
Yeah, that's right.
Not living up to your standards.
I mean,
I can see you though. You're sitting there. You got the morning coffee. Maybe right as as this segment kicks in, you pour a little bit of Jameson into the coffee so you can spice things up.
Yeah.
You kick the feet up on the coffee table, light the cigar, and watch the in memoriam segment, and just cackle at all of the dead old people as they flee this mortal coil. Anyway, Jimmy's watching, I think, is what we've learned here.
His characterization of his wife is always a hoot.
Sort of explains maybe why she's not around.
That's right. Yeah. No.
You've been listening to Cast Iron Balls, a podcast about sports with Bob and Abe. Find the show on Substack, brainiron.substack.com for more from us, including the Billboard Hot 100 game, which is always a hoot, and coming back shortly, no doubt, the return of the flagship podcast of the Brain Iron multinational media empire, Cast Iron Brains, which has been on hiatus for a month or so.
Yeah,
the government stopped going.
Yeah, nothing had been going on in the world.
So did we.
It's been a quiet few weeks.
It's been an awful lot of Epstein stuff, really. Anyway, brainiron.substack.com. You can sign up for the emails so you always get the show note delivered right to your inbox. It doesn't cost you anything. And if you so choose, if you get anything out of this that you appreciate, you could sign up and become a paying subscriber. But you can sign up for the emails without paying. It's totally fine. Nothing is hurt. brainiron.substack.com. The opening and closing themes of the show were composed by Mark Gillig, tetramermusic.com, Tetramer music.com. For more from Mark. Abe, what else in the world of sport caught your eye this week?
Remember Trump went to the Commanders game not too long ago, and then he made some comment about how he did not like the new kickoff rule, which is an opinion held by a lot of people. They don't like it. But the Kansas City Chiefs special teams coach took great exception to just a comment that, again, is a common opinion held by many people. And I think the reporter asked it oh, this will be a fun, he'll just say, oh, that's the president for you or whatever, just move on. Very frivolous question asked. But this special teams coach took, I don't know what's up with this guy. He woke up on the wrong side of the bed, but he was upset about the fact that Trump was saying anything about this new kickoff rule. And there's a clip.
Let's play the clip here.
I've saved it. I just haven't watched it.
Coach, I apologize if you've been asked this, but the president criticized the new kickoff rules when he was at the Washington game. What's your reaction?
He doesn't even know what he's looking at. He has no idea what's going on with the kickoff rule. So I'm going to take that for what it's worth. And I hope he hears it.
So what's interesting is the audience, the reporters are kind of laughing, but his facial tick seems like he's ticked off. I don't know what is happening there.
He hates Donald Trump.
I think he doesn't like Donald
Trump.
I can't
believe they're asking about this fucking guy. I do this for a job? Jesus, fuck that guy.
He was so peeved. It was just amusing.
It's the expression of someone reading an article in the newspaper that is about your particular field of expertise, and you just see paragraph after paragraph is them getting it increasingly wrong, and it's the sort of thing that when you read about whatever it is, but it's something that right? You know in your bones, and the journalism just gets it wrong. It can be that moment where it's wait a second. Right. Is all journalism bullshit? Yeah. If they're this wrong about this particular thing, what else are they wrong about?
Right.
Like with this guy, he's like Donald Trump's bad ideas about the sport of football. Like, no, fuck Donald Trump. This ruined. I was sympathetic to the MAGA thing look at me, to be clear.
That's right.
But he was right up my alley 6-7 years ago.
That kicker of his is a big fan.
Yeah.
So that's probably fun to deal with every day.
Is Butker definitely a big fan of MAGA, or is he? Because he's just a outspoken, obnoxious Christian
misogynist.
type.
No, not just Christian. Women are secretly wanting to stay home with babies.
Yeah, Christian.
No, that's not Christian. that's misogynist.
Yeah.
So if you have the Venn diagram of misogynist and Christian, that's what MAGA actually stands for.
Lori, did anything else in the world of sport? I always say wordle of sport.
Wordle of sport.
The wordle of sport catch your eye this week?
Not my eye. One of my last clients today, his daughter is going to UVA, and she's having a lot of fun with the football season, which is great. And I just sort of, Virginia plays Virginia Tech rivalry week. And he said, who does Georgia play? And I said, Georgia Tech. And he said, is it the same kind of rivalry? And I was like, yeah, but opposite.
Right.
And he he was like, it was like it's a big brother, little brother thing. Like the fact that everything Tech does is to hell with Georgia, even if they're playing like Syracuse. Like, to hell with Georgia. And it's like this obsession. And he was like, UVA fans aren't like that. And I was like, what happens when you guys score a touchdown against anyone and you play your UVA song? And he's like, okay, I see. Like he was at first sort of insulted that I insinuated that UVA was the little brother, and then they
don't ever win the fucking game.
They don't ever win the fucking game. And then came to terms with it. He was just like, oh, wow, I guess they are the little brother. It's like, yeah, this is the year for you because you're not winning next year.
This is not sport related, but I did want to acknowledge a couple of things with the artificial intelligence. I complain a lot on this show and others about our bogus future and how.
Then let's save it for the other show where you do that.
I don't know when we're going to do the other show. A couple weeks maybe.
Well, then let's just
It's just take me a couple minutes. It's fine. It's totally fine. I used the robots today and yesterday 2 times to great effect. One I've just sent to the group chat a picture of a piece of wax paper that had instructions on it written in Ukrainian. Now, this was a candle that was sent to us by...
We still have it, right?
Julia. Yeah, it's upstairs.
Okay. The paper, too?
No, I threw away the paper.
Oh.
What?
It looked cute in the paper.
Oh. Anyway, all of the instructions on the wax paper were written in Ukrainian, and so I got out my phone because I wanted to know what the fuck this stupid piece of wax paper that was wrapped around this candle said. I got out Google Lens, and I just said translate, right? And then overlaid over top of the paper itself, it just printed the English. And I took a screenshot of that, and that's what you're looking at there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's super fucking neat
and
incredibly useful. And what's weird is that it almost looks like it doesn't look like it's
cute.
Actually printed on the thing, but it looks like it was designed in some way, right?
Yeah.
Like it looks like a piece of UI that is appealing. Anyway, I found that incredibly cool and a rare moment of technology working exactly how I want it to work in the moment that I want it, that I need it to. And so now I know, for example, when lighting the candle for the first time, let the candle burn for at least an hour to ensure the wax surface melts evenly without any indentations, and then trim the wick to 6 millimeters. I couldn't possibly have known. I might have fucked up this candle. Also, I learned that it is supposed to smell like butter.
It looks like butter.
It might well look like butter. I didn't know it was supposed to smell like butter.
It was wrapped in paper because it's supposed to look like butter.
Wait, this is butter-scented candles?
A butter-scented candle.
That's good.
All she does there is shop, and work, but.
All right, and then the other thing that I did with the AI robots recently was we've got family coming to visit, right? And we've got we're planning a movie outing. We're going to take the kids to go see. I was about to say Zoolander 2, but that's not
Zoolander.
right. Zootopia 2.
That's right. Have you guys seen the first one? I need to watch the first one before I watch the second one.
It's fine. It's
Something
not
about
great.
a zoo.
Lori must have watched it with the kids, and I did not, or I don't remember watching it with the kids. So yeah, I'll have to at least do the Wikipedia plot summary or something. I remember it being like a something in the culture that people got upset about. I don't know if it was too woke or it was weird.
It's a little woke, but like it's not wrong.
Yeah. Anyway,
it's not like an agenda. It's just nice. It's just a nice message.
Anyway, they're coming, and because it's the future now, you want to reserve your seats at the movie theater ahead of time.
Yeah.
And it's at the Alamo. First of all, fucking outrageous taking the family to the movie theater, even before you get to the popcorn and the drinks, is just ridiculous.
I know.
And I don't know. It is just so completely unsurprising to me that box office revenue continues to go down when we all pay. I mean, not all of us, but so many people pay for 2 or 3 or 4 or more streaming services at home. Between anywhere from $6 or $7 a month up to $20 or $25 a month for these different services, and then they want you to go and spend $20 a pop on a single movie ticket before you even get the popcorn and the soda or the Sour Patch Kids or what have you. It's fucking crazy. Anyway, the point is we're trying to take 7 people to the movies, and so Costco often has this deal where if you buy 4 $25 gift cards, it only costs you $75. So it's 25%
free money,
off, right? So if you're going to the movies anyway, you might as well run by Costco first and secure the relevant gift cards. And then, so I do that, right? And I'm, it's my local movie theater here, so I'm going to go and do the legwork to get the Alamo gift cards. So I get the Alamo gift cards, and then I go into the Alamo app. And, of course, this is all happening the day that, Cloudflare gets hacked or attacked or what have you.
A lot of things were down, yeah.
It's not working for, 6 goddamn hours, which is very frustrating. But that gets cleared up, and I go in, and I plug in all of my $25 gift cards, and I reserve our seats and pay the thing on the credit card, et cetera, et cetera. And now I have to alert my sister-in-law how much money she should send us on Venmo in order to pay for her end of things, right? But it's a little bit confusing because I've got 3 adult tickets, I've got 4 children's tickets, I've got two different piles of tickets.
That would have been such a fun
split
activity
up.
for me.
But on top of that, I need to sort out how to charge her while accounting for the discount, because of course I paid.
It was her idea to get the discount.
I paid $150 for 8 gift cards worth $200.
Right.
I'm actively jealous that you got to do this.
And wanted to apply the 25% discount to the whole equation.
Right.
You pay full freight within the app. It's just that the discount is
implied. Had the money.
It's a little bit of a tricky thing to figure out exactly how I want to split this up. And I was thinking through it, and I started to sketch something out on a little note card that I had ready to hand. And I was like, oh, this is stupid. I'll just ask the robot.
Yeah, this is a perfect robot question.
No, this is not a good question for a robot.
I explained to the robot, here's the deal. I spent this much money, but I also had this situation with the gift cards versus the et cetera, et cetera. And the robot was like, oh, yeah, totally fine. Here's what you should bill your sister-in-law for the movie. And it was perfect. I double-checked the robot's math. And
Spot
then
on.
I said, go ahead and Venmo this amount. And it was totally fine.
Look at that. 2 great uses. Are you a convert? Is that what you're telling us? You're into the robots? You're going to be like Joaquin Phoenix? You're going to start humping it?
You clearly have still not seen
not
that
what
movie.
Happens.
Oh, I'm just assuming that's what happened because I've not seen it.
That's Blade Runner.
That's Blade Runner. Abe, have you got anything else for us tonight?
Nope.
Well, I guess that's all we've got for you tonight, then. And we will talk to you next time.
Later.
Make this happen because I'm busy doing stuff, but I had an idea. It obviously didn't happen today. I was going to write excerpts from Russell Wilson's diary, or like an internal monologue. Like the bit fucking writes itself basically, but like imagine you're Russell Wilson and you've done everything right your whole life, right? Like you didn't have sex, and then you went out and you told the whole world that you think having sex is lame, and so you were saving yourself for marriage.
Premarital sex, to be fair.
Right. He's talking about like banging Sierra, but only after being married, right? Like that sort of thing. And like, you're doing the right thing. You're doing the godly thing. You love Gatorade, right? you love it so much because that's what you're a good American. You're a good American boy. And you're a good American boy quarterback and baseball player, you love Gatorade because Gatorade's good for you because they told you it's good for you, and you drink the Gatorade and they tell you it's good for you. It's awesome. It's just the best. I love my country and I love my Gatorade. You don't rape anybody, and you don't steal any fucking crab legs from Publix, and you don't have sex with Sierra before marriage. You do everything right, and then you ride the fucking pine while Jameis Winston gets to start because Jackson Dart has been injured. You've won Super Bowls by doing it right. And you have to watch Jameis Winston run out there and start for the Giants. Like it must just be tearing him up on the inside.
His outlook is probably different. He's like, oh, this is another test that I'm going to pass.
Yeah.
The proceeding was created with 100% human content.